Maya Thompson stared at her phone screen, her thumb hovering over the "Cancel Order" button. Her son, Liam, had been counting down the days to his 7th birthday party for weeks, every morning waking up with a new question, a new wish, a new sparkle in his brown eyes. But life had a way of crushing dreams in the most merciless moments. Their rent had just gone up. Her hours at the diner had been cut. And Liam's father, who had already disappeared from their lives years ago, had just texted her, "Sorry, can't come this year either." Short, empty, predictably hurtful, it was the final blow that pushed her to accept what felt like failure. She exhaled shakily and pressed cancel. The bakery app flashed a confirmation message. "Your order for the custom dinosaur birthday cake has been cancelled." Maya lowered her phone and covered her face with trembling hands. She'd promised Liam a party this year. She'd promised him magic. Now she couldn't even give him a cake. What made it hurt even more was that Maya wasn't someone who made promises lightly. She was the kind of mother who walked through thunderstorms with her coat over Liam's head just to make him laugh. She worked double shifts to afford school supplies. She said yes to every bedtime story even when her eyes were closing. And yet here she was, failing her son in the most basic way. The day was supposed to be special, but instead, she dreaded waking Liam up and telling him the truth. She imagined the change in his face, the drooping smile, the quiet disappointment. He was just a child, too young to understand why money controlled everything. At the same time, across town in a glass-walled office that overlooked the city skyline, Billionaire CEO Ethan Carter was replaying the argument he had just had with his board. It was the same argument he'd had for months. He wanted to invest in a community support program for struggling families, but they said it didn't align with the company's vision. As if helping people wasn't a vision worth having. Ethan's jaw tightened as he dropped into his leather chair, exhausted. It had been 5 years since he'd lost his own wife and son in a car accident, and since then, birthdays had become the hardest days of all. He avoided them. He avoided kid-friendly cafes. He avoided anything that reminded him of little shoes running across hardwood floors or the weight of a sleeping child on his shoulder. This time of year was the worst. And yet, something in him had changed gradually over the past year, an ache, an emptiness that no amount of money, success, or influence could fill. He longed to feel connected to something real again. But he didn't know how. He didn't know where to begin. That same afternoon, Maya went to the local cafe with Liam. It was their tradition. Hot chocolate with extra marshmallows whenever she had bad news to break. Liam swung his legs happily from the stool, unaware of the storm building in his mother's heart. "Mama," he said, "only 2 days until my birthday." His smile was so bright that Maya felt it like a punch to the chest. She forced a small smile. "Yeah, sweetheart, about that." Her voice cracked, and she quickly turned away, pretending to stir her coffee. Ethan walked in then, wearing a plain gray hoodie instead of his tailored suits. He often came here on days when he needed quiet, no corporate meetings, no people treating him like a walking bank. Just anonymity. He was tired of being seen as a billionaire instead of a human being. He stood behind Maya and Liam in line, overhearing the boys' excited chatter. He tried not to listen, but he couldn't help it. "Mom, did you get the cake with the volcano like I wanted?" Liam asked. Maya inhaled sharply. "Honey, She choked on her words, tears burning behind her eyes. Something in Ethan stirred, something old, fragile, and painfully familiar. He didn't know these people. He had no right to intrude. But when Maya turned slightly and he saw her wiping tears with the sleeve of her worn-out cardigan, he felt as if fate had placed him there on purpose. He stepped forward. "Excuse me," he said gently, hoping not to scare her. "I couldn't help overhearing. Is everything okay?" Maya stiffened. She wasn't someone who shared her problems, especially not with strangers. "I'm fine," she said quickly. "Really?" But Ethan could hear the tremble in her voice. Liam gazed up at him with wide brown eyes. "My birthday is coming," he said proudly. "I'm turning 7. "Wow," Ethan said softly. "That's a big age." Maya's lips quivered. She knew she had to say something. She couldn't keep pretending. "I'm sorry, sweetheart," she whispered, turning to her son. We can't get the cake this year." The way Liam's smile slowly faded was enough to crush anyone's heart. Ethan felt something break inside him. He knelt slightly to be eye level with the boy. "Hey, buddy, what kind of cake did you want?" "A volcano cake," Liam whispered. "With dinosaurs. But it's okay. Maybe next year." Next year. Ethan remembered saying those same words to his son the year before he lost him. "Next year, we'll do something amazing. Next year, I'll take time off work." Next year never came. Ethan stood up abruptly. "I'll be right back." Maya frowned. "Sir, please." But he was already out the door. 20 minutes later, he returned with a large box from the most expensive bakery in the city, the one with a months-long waiting list. Maya's jaw dropped. Liam's eyes nearly doubled in size. "I hope you don't mind," Ethan said softly. "I asked for the biggest volcano cake they could put together on short notice." "Mama," Liam squealed. "It's perfect." Maya blinked rapidly, unable to form words. "Sir, we can't accept that. I can't pay you." "I didn't ask for money," Ethan said. "I just wanted to help." Maya swallowed hard. "But why?" Ethan's gaze dropped to the floor. "Because someone once promised their child next year, but next year never came. If I can make even one kid smile today, maybe it makes the world hurt a little less." Maya was suddenly silent. The air between them was warm, gentle, and painfully human. The next day was Liam's birthday, and Ethan arrived unexpectedly, not with gifts, but with balloons and a shy smile. He had no idea why he'd come. Something about Maya and Liam made him feel human again, alive in a way he'd forgotten was possible. Maya welcomed him, though still hesitant. She didn't want her son to become attached to someone who'd leave. She didn't want to rely on someone who owed her nothing. But Ethan was different. He played with Liam. He helped set up decorations. He laughed. Actually laughed. For the first time in years when Liam smeared frosting on his cheek. Parents from the neighborhood peeked in curiously. They whispered, "Who is he? As that? No, it can't be." But when Liam blew out his candles, everyone fell silent. Because Ethan, the billionaire no one expected to show up at a small neighborhood birthday party, was standing behind the boy with tears in his eyes. And when Liam hugged him tightly, Ethan didn't pull away. He held the child as if he were something precious. After the party, Maya and Ethan stood outside while Liam played with his new toys. The sun dipped low, washing the sky in gold. "You didn't have to do any of this," Maya whispered. "I know," Ethan said. "But I wanted to. You don't know how long it's been since I felt part of anything." Maya studied him, really studied him. The pain in his eyes. The kindness in his actions. The loneliness he carried like a shadow. "Ethan," she said softly, "you gave my son a birthday he'll never forget. How can I ever repay you?" He took a slow breath. "You already have." "How?" He looked at her gently. "You reminded me what it feels like to care again." For a moment, neither of them spoke. The breeze was soft. Liam laughed in the distance. And something unspoken passed between the two adults. Something healing, warm, and full of possibility. Over the next weeks, Ethan stopped by often. Sometimes to help with groceries. Sometimes just to talk. Sometimes just to exist in a small apartment that felt more like home than his mansion ever had. Maya found herself smiling more. Liam started calling him Mr. Ethan, and Ethan started looking forward to each dawn instead of dreading it. But the world noticed, and the media began circling. When the story broke, Billionaire celebrates birthday with unknown single mom, paparazzi swarmed Maya's neighborhood. Maya panicked. "This is too much," she told Ethan. "I can't have cameras in front of my home. Liam can't handle this." Ethan felt his throat tighten. "I'm sorry. I didn't mean for this to happen." Maya pulled him closer. "I know, but I don't want to lose the peace we've finally built." Ethan nodded slowly. Then he made a decision that would change everything. The next morning, he held a press conference, not to deny the rumors, but to tell the truth. He spoke about grief, about loss, about meeting a little boy who reminded him what love felt like. And he asked the media to leave Maya and Liam alone. Shockingly, the world listened. A week later, Ethan came to Maya's door, without cameras, without security, without the weight of the world on his shoulders. "Hey," he said softly. "Hey," she whispered back. "I was wondering." He swallowed hard. vulnerability raw in his gray eyes. Would you let me stay in Liam's life? In yours. Not because you need help, but because I care. More than I expected to. Maya's heart beat wildly. Her voice trembled as she said, Ethan, we want you in our lives. Liam already loves you. And I'm starting to. Ethan exhaled with relief. Relief so deep it felt like a new beginning. And as Liam ran into the room shouting, Mr. Ethan, come play dinosaurs with me. The billionaire laughed. A real, wholehearted laugh. From that day forward, their lives changed in ways none of them could have predicted. Not because of money, not because of status, but because one act of kindness created a ripple that healed 3 broken hearts at once. Moral of the story, you never know how far a simple act of kindness can reach. Sometimes, it saves the giver as much as the receiver.